I just got done meeting Christine here at Havenwood, and before I forget all the stuff that we talked about, I just wanted to make this short video and pass it on. So they currently do have openings here, and the rooms are very similar. I'll send you pictures. I got a bunch of pictures, but the rooms are maybe a little bit bigger than her room in Fargo. And the memory care here is split into two wings. And each wing has up to 15 residents. There are two full-time staff here 24/7. In addition to that, they have a medical giver, prescription person that basically hands out the medications. So that is not one of the two people. That's a third person that comes and does that, and they switch between wings. The basic difference between the two wings is one of them has a common area that's just all in one. It's a kitchen, it's a dining area, and then there's a living area with a TV and couch and a table that they were playing bingo. The other wing, which I kind of think would be more desirable for her, has a separate dining room similar to how Touchmark was laid out. And then across the hall, there's another room that's got the couch, the TV, a game room, and different things for activities. They have spaces in both of the wings, and they're the exact same room. I would probably think the one with the two separate places are better. It's the hallways are not quite as long as Havenwood or Touchmark, I mean. It's going to be confining to her. There is an outdoor space, but that is also controlled by staff, so they just can't walk out. But it's basically a little rectangular piece of space with a sidewalk, a little green space, some tables, and a gazebo. So it'll be a change. Good news is we get our own fobs, so and there's visiting hours that are not limited. I can come and go anytime I want. I'll get a fob that gets me in the front door, gets me down into the memory care without having to have a nurse come and get me, and then go right to her room. I can bring her in and out. There's activities here in the assisted living and kind of like independent living, and that's in the middle part of the building. It's 2 stories, and that one, they have a game room, they have a chapel, they have a kind of like like what Touchmark had, the theater, or the place where you would watch a movie or have musical entertainment, a room about that size upstairs. And that would be something that I would need to escort her to, or a resident would, kind of like how Touchmark had it set up. They have 3 meals a day. They're all the same meal, meaning the same menu. It's not a la carte. It's pretty similar. They have a lady that goes back and forth between the 2 wings. It sounds like pretty much every day to do crafts or bingo or a game. So they claim to keep people active and engaged. The folks were doing a bingo game when I was there. It looked like there were 6 or 7 of them at the table. One guy, the rest were women. The women were very friendly and kind of funny. And the other one where I went to that had the 2 separate spaces for dining and entertainment, there was one woman in there that was pretty much gone, slumped over in a wheelchair, and then 1 or 2 other people just sitting there. It is the feeling you get is a little bit, it's light. The common areas have a lot of good windows. There's windows at the end of the hallway where there's a little sitting area, a little table by the emergency exit. And her room has a nice big window too, not quite the size of Touchmark, but it's a nice window. There are choices for the views. The two that I'm thinking, one would be a view of the back of the property. There's a privacy fence, but you have some green space. Really no chance to see any cars or anything like that. The other one is also it's facing a walled off space, and then there is one that faces the parking lot, which I thought would be the least desirable. The so probably the unit I'd recommend is the one that just faces the retaining or the privacy fence, and that. As far as I'll send you the data on that, the rent and everything, but they do have an elderly waiver. What that means is that if she's here, she has to be here at least 3 years, which hoping that's not the case, but if she's spent down all of her money after 3 years, she can apply for elderly waiver, which does kick in. And there's only 4 waivers that are had at any given time, but they kind of cycle and become available as people die. Right now, there may be one available, so it's kind of a crapshoot how that works, but we maybe don't have to worry about that. It's 3 years or a minimum, and then the complete spend down of all of her money. As far as, let's see, what else would I say? We would just need a doctor's, we'd get the doctor to do all the, authorization that she could live here, which would be the doctor that I've seen, and he's met Mom, and there's a $2,500 kind of a deposit to reserve the room, and in addition to what the rent and everything's going to be. We would have to provide all the furniture and wall hangings. We provide all of the personal care products, and the staff would be doing all the things that they did up at Touchmark. Talked about the concern about the Touchmark people not showering her, and they would let me know if that was a problem, if they couldn't get her kind of like to it. But we would know, so I just don't walk in here one day and her hair's all greasy and she looks like heck. There'd be some communication there. But she did remind me that Mom has a patient bill of rights, so there's a point at which they can't push. If she refuses to eat, if she refuses to shower, if she refuses to change her clothes, she has the right to some of that. So that's why it's important for us to be kind of kept in the loop on what and when she's refusing stuff. I asked about the staffing and the retention and the turnover. She said that right now she's pretty happy with the team that they have, and just looking at it, I met several of the people. It looks like a mix of young girls of multi-cultures and such, and they seem friendly. She did mention too that they have an agency that they work with, so if people aren't showing up for their shifts and they need help covering a shift where there's a no-show or a call-in, they do have an agency that they tap for that, so that they're not being left high and dry consistently. The agency tends to want to send the same workers here and to keep some consistency if that happens to be the case, so those workers can sometimes get to know the residents here versus having a new person every single time they have to call in for a short staffing situation. There is a nurse. There's a separate nurse for both wings of the memory, so one nurse for the 15 residents and a separate nurse for the other 15 residents. Right now, I think there's maybe 12 residents in the one wing, and like she said, there's openings in both of them right now. But we'd want to get in on it. She said the rates are going to be going up because there's a new management company that's just kind of taken charge. She feels like it's a good change, but they may come in and change some rates, and by signing sooner than later, we would be locked into the current rate for our 1-year lease term. And at the end of the lease, going into year number 2, then there would likely be some increases, 3%, 5%, no one at this point. This is the newest facility in Richfield. It's 5 years old. It's kind of like what Touchmark is now, minus all the construction and remodeling. There is, let's see, they work with the pharmacy. They will do an evaluation of her coming in so that they will be able to assess her needs from a first-hand experience. There aren't upcharges or anything for some of the things that she's going to need, like helping get dressed or picking out outfits, taking showers. They were pretty, pleased with the fact that she's not taking, 10, 15 different meds, and that seemed to be fine. She's not diabetic, which requires extra care. As far as a transition into a hospice situation, they do have that here, where there would be the ability to bring a hospice care worker into the facility so she wouldn't have to move physically to a new place. Of course, I'm sure that's going to be expensive, but that will be something that she can stay in place here. The only thing they don't have is what they called skilled nursing. And examples of skilled nursing would be if she needed a Hoyer lift to get in and out of bed, if she had a diabetes that required, constant monitoring, and different things that feeding tubes and stuff like that. So at this point, that could be the only thing that would cause her to be booted out of the place. So for the rest of it, it could be all done here at the place. There is in the normal resident area, there is a workout gym with an exercise bike. They do have a salon here as well. That's in the kind of the independent living that she could get her hair cut here. They also have a pastor that comes every Sunday that would give a little church message or something in each of the memory care units. So if she wanted to do that, she could. What else comes to mind? Just trying to remember everything before we go here. I'd have to be able to get access to the meals and the activity calendars. I could see those. Let's see if there's anything else. The sizes of the rooms are about 400 square feet. I don't know what Touchmark was, but it definitely is bigger. It might be more on the range as if her place in Montana, if that was a 1-bedroom versus that 2-bedroom. It could be, roughly that size. It has, you'll see in the pictures, it's got kind of the same little refrigerator, sink, cabinets, and these have pretty big bathrooms, and then quite a big space for furniture too. Of course, we'd have to buy everything new again, but maybe I can scrounge some things off of some clients that need to offload the table and chairs and some things. Overall, I like this place. It's quiet and calm. I think the vibe is good. I think that it's classy. I get the general idea that people like being here. So yeah, that's it for now. If I think of some other things, I'll do a new video, but I'll send this over to you now, and then if you want, we can get her in as early as in a week or two if we need. They said she could be in by next Friday if we needed. So that's good, and I'm really grateful that they have, it seems like at least 2, if not more, of the memory care studio suites available right now. So who knows? This is timing. So that's what I got for now.